Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine, you may not be able to relate to today's episode here,
Okay.
but I want to thank Stephen Holton. He regularly comments and shows up in the live shows and the like. Check out the live shows if you haven't already, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. He said, like you said, talking about me, of course, we tend to list less when the sales are not good because sometimes you think, what's the use? What is your thought on that?
Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't have that issue because I have employees and they're working and I have to give them hours and I have a million things to list, so we got a list. I guess you should be in the same predicament because, say, sales are down for you. Well, you're spiting yourself because you have this whole room with 112 boxes. And you're not going to list any because your sales are down. You got to list it because I think it would increase sales by putting more on, more potential sales. So that's my take.
I agree. That's the smart thing to do. However, I absolutely understand that you kind of sit there and you're like, I'm going to waste 6 hours a day listing stuff and nothing's going to sell because nothing's selling. And you really, really can get down on yourself and you really, really can have difficulty when you're doing that.
Yeah.
And I think what it comes down to is I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with occasionally, taking a little bit of time off, going for a walk, going out to eat, mowing the lawn, doing whatever it is that you have to do, just because. But here's the point I wanted to make. Don't waste the time necessarily. Now, walking away for 1 day, 1 hour, whatever is fine.
Yeah.
But if sales are down for 2 weeks, you can't not list and not do anything for 2 weeks.
Right.
And I think that's what it comes down to. What's the most important thing is, okay, you're not listing because you're in a funk. Nothing's selling, so you're saying, why should I list?
Right.
And I understand. I understand that mindset. You sit there and you're like, oh, I'm going to put all this time in and I don't get any money back. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Can I say welcome to Walmart? I mean, maybe that would pay more. I don't know. So you're going through, you're getting your mind in this bad place.
Yeah.
Fine. First day you go for a walk, you clear your mind, you walk away, you turn the computer off early, you go out to dinner with the wife, you watch a movie, you do whatever you have to do. Try to get your mind in the right place. You wake up the next day and you're still in the same place, and you're still in the same place the day after. Even, number one, I would say, much as Mr. Magazine said, force yourself to list. But if you can't do that, or if you sit there and you go, I'm only going to list for an hour, I don't see the point of listing right now.
All right. Two things
Go
regarding
ahead.
that. Number one, say you decide to list.
Mm-hmm.
Are you listing lower end stuff because the stuff's not selling, or are you listing higher end stuff that should sell for close to what you want and could bring some good money in? Or if you're not listing, here's a problem. Say you want to take 2 weeks off, like, I'm in a funk for 2 weeks, sales are junk, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. You might buy 28 boxes of stuff in that meantime, and then what? Now you're really behind 2 weeks of listing, and you got more stuff to list. So, anyone that has excessive death piles, junk piles, any of this stuff, I think it's there to list. You might as well list it. That's why you bought it. If not, throw it out.
Wow.
All right. I mean, get rid of it. I mean, if you're not you bought it to sell it, why not list it?
Or can I offer an alternative?
Sure. Oh, what not? Okay, we go, what not? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
How about sorting?
Yeah.
How about going through the stuff
Sure.
and organizing it?
Yeah.
And, okay, I don't feel like listing. I listed 10 items today, and it's just a drag.
Yeah.
Sort and take photos.
Okay.
Save the photos.
Yeah.
Don't waste the time. You've always wanted to sit there and you've looked around and you've been doing this for years. And I'll give you the perfect example. You obviously wouldn't do this with your place, but let's just say that magically I took over your place and somehow or other I was a one-man band running your organization.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't list just because the sales weren't there.
Yeah.
I'm going to replace those record boxes that you have. I'm going to replace those.
Right.
I'm going to list for an hour, and then the rest of today, I've got that back shelf back over there, and it's got 16 boxes on it, and I know that I can get it down to 12 boxes.
Yeah.
You're at least doing something to help the business.
Sure.
And it's something or other that should be done and needs to be done. You never find time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wouldn't that be the perfect time to do it when you're
that's
absolutely
true.
in a listing funk?
a good point.
Get it done at that point, whatever the case happens to be. You probably have things a lot better now, but think back 5-6 years ago. Right when you walked in the warehouse, if you came in through the loading dock, on the right hand side you had all of those boxes.
Yeah.
Say you wanted to keep those boxes, break them down, sort them out by size, sort your packing materials out.
Right.
Because I had this problem for a long time. My packing materials weren't sorted, and I didn't know what all I had. And I probably had, or I did have, envelopes in different spots.
Yeah.
Well, I only knew of one spot, so I was over ordering because I was like, oh, I don't have hardly any more envelopes. So I had 3 more boxes in a different area I didn't know about. I actually took the time to sort down and said, I've got a lot more envelopes than I thought that I had.
Sure.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So even things like that, you've got 2 boxes of supplies you forgot that came in. They're sitting off in the corner. Open them up, put them on the shelves, do this, do that kind of stuff. It should be done. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
And when better to do it when you're in a funk and don't feel like listing, or when you can hardly keep up with the packing because things are flying off everything. You list something and it's selling half an hour later. Well, no, that's when you strike with the iron's hot and you just keep listing at that moment. So do those extra little tasks that need to be done. We all get in those funks. We all get not feeling. And let me ask you this. Do you have any employees who have ever come to you and said, I just don't feel like listing today. Do you have something else I can do?
Maybe one time, a long time ago, but generally they like sitting down and listening to music and listening.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, because I was thinking, change it up a little bit if somebody or other wants it. Well, you've got one employee that I can think of that does like changing it up. He lists sometimes, and then other times he'll be looking for something to do to help you at the laundromat or help here or help there.
Very true.
Just to mix things up.
Yeah.
Because sitting down listing 8 hours a day or how many ever hours a day can be a drag at times.
My one computer guy said that too because we needed help pulling, we needed a help packer, and he's like, I like moving around too, so we're gonna start implementing him into learning all that stuff too.
Right, which is great because just in case somebody or other is missing for a week or something or other like that, you definitely have a backup plan as well. Yeah. So I want to thank Stephen for giving us the comment that spurred the show. And again, we've all been in that spot before, and I understand you feel like you're banging your head against the wall. Why am I listing when nothing's selling?
Yeah.
Mr. Magazine says, get over it, list. I say, if you just don't feel like listing, be productive in the business in other ways. There's no right or wrong answer. Well, that's not true. I think the wrong answer is walk away for 3 weeks and don't do anything. That probably would be the wrong answer.
When you come back and like, there's nothing selling, well, nothing. You're not listing anything either. So
that might be the wrong answer. But other than that, there's no right or wrong answer. So do what you need to do to give yourself the mental health. There's nothing wrong with taking a day off here and there and walking away. Sometimes you just need that refreshment, the pause that refreshes. Hopefully that helps you a little bit, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.